What is up guys, Sharpwind here, and today I have a very special treat for you. Someone in my Discord server challenged me to make a lens flare rig, and of course me being me, I said challenge accepted. So I started brainstorming, thinking about how on earth will I make this rig, thinking about the complex systems using position and reverse rotation relative to camera and all the other complex things, and then it hit me. A very simple method, which is both simple to make and simple to use. So the lens flare that I'm about to show you in this video has very simple controls and can be used by anyone. Plus you don't even have to know how it works, because in this video I'm providing you with both the explanation as well as a download link for the 3 preset lens flares that I made. So if you're new to the channel, I suggest you click the subscribe button because there's a lot of animation tutorials for you, as well as download links for the rigs that I release, such as this one. I also have a face rig, a weapon pack, and an oblivion rig, and another weapon pack in the making, so I suggest you tune in for this because you don't want to miss it. Also, you can join my Discord server and suggest animation tutorials yourself, or challenge me to make rigs like today, although I wouldn't recommend it. With that on the side, let's get on the video. So upon downloading the file, you will get this little zip file. Open it up, and in here you should see first the instructions, then the lens flare rig and the lens flare textures. I'll show you what they all are. I suggest you read the instructions because you might need them, but for the time being, I want to show you how to use this. I'm gonna put the lens flare textures on my desktop and the lens flare rig also on my desktop, I guess. Okay, now I want to open my Mine-Imator folder, Mine-Imator 1.1.2, because I still have unfinished projects. I will move on to 1.1.4 as soon as I finish them. Don't worry, the lens flare works in all versions though. 1.1.4 is compatible, don't worry about it. I think it might be compatible with community build as well, so you really don't have to worry about it. It doesn't use any advanced mechanics at all. So open up the projects and put the lens flare rig in your projects folder, because this is a Mine-Imator project. If I open up Mine-Imator now, open up the lens flare rig, and it should look like this. Sharpwind's lens flare rigs, and 3 cameras with random images on them. So these are the lens flare rigs. This is what they look like. So camera 1 has this kind of lens flare, camera 2 has a different kind of lens flare, camera 3 has another customized lens flare. This is just the text here. First things first, before even telling you how it works and all, I want to show you how you can use it in your animations, because every time I release a rig, there's always at least one comment saying, how do I use this in my animation? Well, I'm gonna show you this before doing anything else for you to see. So if I open up a different project, let's say tests and thumbnails, because this is where I tested the lens flare, so I could just remove everything. Let's say that I want to have my lens flare in this animation. How to use this in your animation? Click this icon, import an asset. This is a very important icon because you can import stuff from other projects and not change the original. So you can import the lens flare here, but still have it in the other project. It's like copying the lens flare into this project. So click the button and now browse lens flare rig. This is where it was, right? So you will have a lot of textures here for the lens flare, but you want to select this one, lensflarerig.me project. This is the one, and by clicking that you will have all 3 cameras in here. Let's say I like the lens flare 3 the most, so I just delete the camera 1 and the camera 2, of course the text as well, and you have the lens flare right here. I want to delete all the other surfaces that are not in use. So how to use the lens flare? It's very simple, trust me. Open up the camera here and you should get this lens flare, scale and rotation, all 3 things. Now you will notice that by rotating the rotation, the lens flare will rotate. This is pretty self-explanatory here. And by scaling the scale, the lens flare will move closer to the center or further away. Okay, I'm noticing some glitching here. Look at my main camera, look at this. I don't want this. I will fix that before releasing it. I'll fix that, don't worry. So you can simply animate the lens flare. So if I increase the scale back to 1, put the rotation, animate the rotation somehow, the lens flare is completely functional. Look at this. It's very simple to use. You just scale and rotate. Also, you will notice this. If you scale the rotation, the scale also works. Or if you rotate the scale, also works. So why did I separate the scale and rotation if I could just keep it in one folder? Well, you can, in theory, just use one of them. Like, just animate the rotation, both for scale and for rotation. You can do that if you want to. I separated them so you can have like a smoother rotation, like more transitions and stuff, overlapping action, you know, always separate your motion on different timelines. I always talk about it in my other tutorials. You can only use one if you want to. one more thing I want to note. If you open up your lens flare, you will see a lot of rings and stuff like that. You're searching for the name of ring. I'm just gonna unlock these because I kind of need them, and I want to animate them because rings also have to be animated. There's no other way to fix it. You have to do it manually because it's still just Mine-Imator. But what you want to do is have this ring disappear. It's now 75%, but when the scale comes closer to 0, that ring goes away, and the ring full goes from 0 to 57. Of course, I have to fix that as well. This should happen. The ring turns into a full circle, and the same goes with the other one. So this should happen with your lens flare. This is how it should work. So every time you scale it down to 0, you should make the other circles visible. Now, let's say you want to customize it. Well, that's very simple. Like, let's say I want to change my iris. Where's my iris? This is my iris texture. Let's say I want to change it. Click on the iris and select a different kind of iris. This is now a different kind of iris. Or select iris 2 or something. You can customize these as much as you want. Let's say you want to add a new surface in here. Let's say I want to add another hexagon. You could, in theory, just duplicate this hexagon and position it somewhere on the lens flare, and it does work. Like, you see, it scales with the rest of them. Let's say you want to add like a different kind of shape to it. As you see, we had this lens flare textures folder at the beginning of the video. I'm gonna show you what that is. If you open this up, you can see glows, irises, rings, and shapes. Glows are basically what surrounds the lens flare, so it's this gradient texture around it. This thing, what I'm making visible and invisible. This is the glow, and the other kind of glow is just like a star-shaped glow, because variants of the flares. There are different kinds of flares. Next thing, we have irises, which are the main source of glowing. This one looks kind of dirty and ugly, but if I try to use that one, this dirty, ugly iris, which is iris 1, you can always change it in here by adjusting this add color, because this is the original. This is how you can modify it by your own. Like, you can use the Mine-Imator color system. Then we also have some rings, which are these rainbows and circles. We have 3 different rings with variants of full circles, so either a ring or a full circle. So you can have that in your animation as well. Don't worry, it's all coming together. And finally, we got some shapes. Hexagon 1, Hexagon 2, and a circle. Now, I believe all 3 lens flares only use Hexagon 1, because I made Hexagon 2 and Circle after I released the lens flare, after I already built them together, and I was too lazy to make more presets. Don't worry, you can always just come in here, go to the Hexagon, and let's say select a circle. Lens flare textures, shapes, and click the circle. Now we have a circular diffusion on the lens flare. This is what I mean. So the reason we only have these textures is because I had to make them myself. I didn't find any of this on Google. These are all my images. I had to make all of them separately, and that's kind of a pain in the ass. That was the biggest issue I had to make. I had to design all of these individually, and I was kind of lazy to just make more. Look at this. Like, I had to make all of this. Not very special, but they take a lot of time. Or the rings, look at the rings. I had to make all of these. Like, look. If you guys want more, I could probably make more, but this is how the lens flare works. Let's change this back to Hexagon 1, and let's say I want to add a sphere or a ring. Let's add a third ring here. Like, also, if you move the camera around, the lens flare is locked onto the camera, so there's no problem of you losing the lens flare because you rotate the camera. Don't worry. Now let's say you want to add the third ring. As I mentioned a couple of times now, because I stopped the recording and then I start again. I want to add a new surface, which is here. Surface? Call the surface ring 3, because I already have 2 rings in this one. Import a texture and browse for it. Let's say I want to add the rainbow ring. So let's go for rings, ring 1, which is the rainbow. There already is a ring 1 texture in this animation because I imported the one with all 3 presets. I'm just gonna click yes, that doesn't matter. So now I have this. What I want to do is lock the rainbow one on the rotation. Now it's down here. And now, a really important feature, tick scale off. So it only moves with the scale, doesn't scale itself. Also tick off cast shadows, because you don't want cast shadows on the ground, and make it fully bright. That's what you gotta do first before you do anything else. Then custom rotation point, put it all to 0. So now the rotation point is in the center of the image. Now since this is new and I don't know the hierarchy, which is first, which is not, I'm just gonna put this first above everything else and raise its render depth way above. So now it's definitely gonna be visible. Now rotate it around until you're happy. Just scale it down a little bit. This is it. Let's say I'm done, and this is now my ring 3. But I want to change something. I want to duplicate ring 3 and rename it ring 3 full. So now I need a full texture, which I already have in the animation. I could browse for it again, but there's no need because it's already in here. And create an instance on the timeline. Now we have ring 3 full. I want to lock it on the camera as well. Above ring 3, so I can keep it here, have the same rotation point. Don't cast shadows, don't inherit scale, have it fully bright. These three are important. Go to your ring 3, copy the scale, copy the position, go to ring 3 full, paste the position, paste the scale. Now you also want to put the render depth above, so it doesn't mess up the rest of the components. But now, while it's here, you can put the alpha back down to 0. Take note that none of the components of the lens flare are 100% visible, so you should probably tune this down a little bit, just like that, so it's semi-transparent. Keep it on, let's say 60, just because it's a round number, why not? And when you're gonna scale the lens flare down, let's go to scale, you're gonna want to make this ring 3 invisible and this full ring visible, so it does this, because this is how lens flares work. Let's rotate the camera around and animate this. Let's see, let's just put the rotation here and have the camera track that specific point. Put it like this. Let's say this is the space, and that's pretty close. I want to give an ease out to the scale so it kind of looks more smooth. This is why I added 2 timelines for it, like both the scale and the rotation. So you can have like more smooth transitions. And the rotation, let's just put that to linear. So this is kind of it, but let's go for a stronger one. So as you see, it's now tracking that point, like just mess with the transitions and stuff. We said that you gotta make it all visible / invisible, like these 2 circles. The closer the iris is to the center, the more the full circles have to be visible. Okay, I've noticed some glitching on this circle here. I want to select the ring 3 and put it a bit closer so it doesn't overlap that rainbow, so this is it. Same goes with the ring 2, I still gotta make some adjustments, but by the time I release this rig, it's gonna be completely glitch free. So this is it, this is your lens flare rig in Mine-Imator. Please don't use it to make cancer animations, because that's not why I made it. Al-Qaeda, I hope you're happy. This is the guy who challenged me to make it. I hope you're happy, because you just made some cancerous animations. But anyway, this is it, this is the lens flare, basically all there is to it. We got the textures, you got the project, and a quick guide on how they work. So I would like to see a mention when you use these, like just put my name somewhere because I'm kind of the creator. I won't kill you if you don't do it, but it's kind of appreciated if you like just mention me, because they weren't very easy to make. Like the textures were really a pain in the ass. But overall, thank you for watching, that's it. Stay sharp.